Black Friday seems like it's come and gone extremely quickly. Question for everyone: what did you snag yourself Pokemon card wise during Black Friday sales? The whole purpose of this video, I'm going to run through what I picked up. We're going to have a bit of a discussion around each one and sort of where I see that product's future going. But before we get into the video, just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone that likes the videos, that shares them around to their friends or fellow community members, so to speak, that comments on the videos. Always love chatting to you guys. Most importantly, people that have subscribed and keep tuning in for each video. That means a lot. And hopefully we're going to gain some momentum and the community is going to grow. I'm not going anywhere. We're going to keep ticking over some Pokemon content, particularly Pokemon investing content and the future of sets and values and where we see things moving. So thanks everyone. If you haven't subscribed, please do yourself a favor, jump on board. Anyway, back to the video. Black Friday. It's been a bit of a funny one this year. Like, it seems to have come and gone very quickly, and there didn't seem to have been much noise about it. Like, normally you log online and you just see it just gets absolutely spammed at you in every single direction. And I didn't really get many Pokemon ones. You know how the algorithm works. Like you jump onto Google or YouTube and it seems to know what you're searching for. You've searched for Pokemon, so you jump onto your Instagram or something similar, and all of a sudden it's popping up with Pokemon ads. Like, they didn't really seem to exist for me this year, and that's about all I Google, other than how to get better at golf, because my form is absolutely terrible this year. I do blame a slight rotator cuff injury for the bad form. I don't know if you can blame that, but I do. Need to have an excuse for everything. Anyway, it didn't seem to happen. Like, I didn't seem to get those normal messages that I get, the whole, Black Friday, Pokemon. And I sort of get it, right? In the sense that if you're already moving heaps of product and you're already making heaps of money and you don't need to move dead stock or dead supply, what's the point of discounting something? Happens the exact same in the car world. And I probably use this reference too often, but I suppose it's another industry that I know equally as well as trading cards. But if we have supply issues on a car that's super popular that we just can't get, what is even the point of discounting it? Like, we don't even have them to discount. And the same goes for maybe a set like Japanese 151, which I wanted to touch on at the end of this video. Like, you just can't get it. Supply's so short. Why would we discount? If you're a seller, why would you discount what you have? It just makes no sense. So were the Black Friday deals just dead stock, stuff that no one wants, or in the Pokemon TCG world, or could you actually find yourself some bargains down there? Again, let me know down below, what did you find? First thing I found, and I think this was a ripper deal, I was Googling, obviously, Black Friday deals, and I come across this. Yes, we know it's all been printed to the ground, but it's Crown Zenith. It's the last English yellow border Pokemon card set. It's super popular. It's got a huge depth of hits. We all know that. I don't need to go into the ins and outs of the sets about how good it is. I'm also not going to go into the ins and outs of what's happening with print runs and how that's affecting value, but it's a good pickup. So Kmart had these, right? This is obviously like an Australian major retail store, $39 each. And I'm going to convert both Australian and US dollars. And just keep in mind, when I show Australian and US dollars, sometimes you might sit there and go, well, that's a ripper deal if you're from the US. Geez, that's cheap in US dollars. Or other times you might go, well, that's actually a bit dearer than what I can get it here when it's not on sale. And that's because, keep in mind, Australia and the US are different markets. You guys get things that we don't have. And here's the best example of it. Celebrations UPC, right? Probably 3 or 4 months after it was launched, Australia got this extra supply of it. I don't know whether it was leftover stock or it certainly wasn't a reprint, I wouldn't have thought, but it might have been like leftover stock. And all of a sudden, we could pick them back up for $250 Australian if you were lucky. Mostly bots bought them, but if you got lucky, you could pick one up for $250 Australian, which is about $140, $150 US. So, like, super good buying, super cheap. So there's an example of how markets are different. Same within Europe, UK, etc., Canada. Markets are different. So if the values seem a little bit off, like, I'm mostly telling you that these are good deals in Australia. So Crown Zenith Premium Figure Collection, $39 Australian, which equates to $25.90 US. Now, if you do the maths per pack, these obviously come with the promo, they come with the figure. They come with 11 Crown Zenith booster packs, which works out to be $3.54 Australian, or what does it work out, like $2.30 something, $2.35 US per pack. Cheap, like, well, seems cheap. If you bought 2 of them, so you needed to spend at least $65, because Kmart stores didn't have them. I ended up picking them up online. But if you bought 2 of them, which was obviously $78, free postage. Any order through Kmart Australia above $65, I think, gets free postage. So I ended up buying 4 of them, like $156, 44 Crown Zenith booster packs for $156. Don't know, seems like a pretty good deal. In fact, if you haven't seen it, you can probably still log on to Kmart Australia. I only bought them on Friday or Saturday, so they're probably still there. Go ahead and pick yourself up some if you're in Australia. Second one I got, and this is probably one where I talk about a bit of a price discrepancy between Australian market and US market. Fusion Strike booster boxes. They're still fairly plentiful here in Australia, but in 12 months' time they won't be. Well, they shouldn't be. That supply should slowly get eaten up, dwindled into, whatever word you want to use. And so I picked one up, just another one, like $175. Not too bad. Equates to 116 US. Again, people in the US, does that seem cheap? Because the supplies, like, it's plentiful here. $175 a booster box using some Black Friday discount codes. They normally sort of sit around, $1.99 Australian. So I don't know, does that seem cheap to the US viewers? Because it seems the going rate here in Australia. But $175 Fusion Strike. Now, the only slight concern I have with Fusion Strike is it's a bit like Evolving Skies in that it's like boom or bust. You get yourself a booster box and you open it if you choose to. And if you pull a sweet old art, boom. Both Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike. More so Fusion Strike though, because the box price is like a third of the price of a Evolving Skies box. But you don't get an old art and it's a bust. Particularly Evolving Skies. Like, you could literally pull like $30 of value out of an Evolving Skies booster box if you're unlucky, or $40 of value, and you've spent 600 Australian. Compared to Fusion Strike, where you could have pulled the Gengar or the Espeon and maybe some ancillary hits, and you've made more than the box price. So I suppose there's a bit more cost factor in your favour on Fusion Strike. Now, like I was saying, $175 each, works out to be about 116 US. This is a great set. Other than the fact around, I suppose, that boom or bust factor that I was talking about, it's a good set. If you look back in the past around all Ghost Psychic based sets, if you run back to the EX era, EX Unseen Forces, EX Holland Phantoms with the Gold Star Mewtwo, if we rewind forward even more to XY era with Phantom Forces, Ghost Psychic sets always seem to go well. Now, we've got to work our way through the supply of Fusion Strike, but I think once it does that, it's going to be a pretty solid pickup. So if you can still get them in Australia for $175, I think it's a good buy. Like, it just is. The next one I bought myself was Scarlet and Violet base ETBs. Now, one of the issues with these is the set isn't, we all know it's not strong, but neither was Sword and Shield base. Neither was Sun and Moon base. Neither was XY base. And particularly look at XY base, how that's gone. Look at Sword and Shield base, how that's gone. Yes, it was short printed compared to the rest of the Sword and Shield sets, particularly the ETBs. From Darkness Ablaze onwards, they just got annihilated with print runs. But, is Scarlet and Violet going to do something similar? Don't know. I already had 2, but I thought, what's the harm in getting like 1 of each? But what's the harm in getting some extras? Just in case, you got the itch to A, rip one, or B, they don't get as mass printed as some of the Sword and Shield sets. So I picked these up for $125, posted for both of them, which is about $82 US for the pair. Not bad buying, I don't think. The fourth one I picked myself up is some more Sword and Shield UPCs, or as they are more colloquially known, Charizard UPCs. I think this is going to be a bit of a sleeper from the Sword and Shield era. And I say that because not only do you have 3 terrific Charizard promos sitting inside there, you've got a really good pack selection from the Sword and Shield era. You've got Evo Skies, you've got Brilliant Stars, strong sets inside there. You got Fusion Strike, and you know that alt art / trainer gallery. Like those sets had like 40 to 45% hit ratios in from a V or a trainer gallery or an alt art. Yes, alts are really hard to pull, but you get my point. This is going to be a fun set for both just individuals to open at home, either by themselves or with their kids or whatever it might be. It's going to be fun for streamers to open in the future. They'll show off the Charizard promos just like they did now. Like in 5 years' time, they'll go, look, we did this 5 years ago. We got these Charizards out. They still look as good as ever. The playmat's cool. The coins are cool. And the pack selection, let's get ripping and hope we pull an alt art, and if not, some sick trainer galleries. Like, it's just a sleep. I don't think it's going to go up rapidly. But no, I won't say mark my words, but in the next 5 years, it should at least double. Like, come on. The packs inside there are too good. The promos inside there are too good. Yes, it was mass printed, but I just think it's going to be good in the long run. Fifth Black Friday's deal, I suppose, I picked myself up was the Paradox Rift booster box. Now, this is the next booster box, of course, in the Scarlet and Violet series, and I don't have it yet. So I'm going to add it over to the booster box display, get an acrylic case for it, pop it in there. I paid $170 Australian, which is about $113 US. Again, in the US, you might have been able to get this a little bit cheaper. As in, you know, that discrepancy between markets, there might be more supply there or whatever the reason might be. They might not be moving as quickly. So it might be a little bit cheaper there, but $170 seems to be a pretty fair price here in Australia. Not a bad pickup, I don't think. It reminds me a lot of Paldea Evolve, that set, in that you just get that massive, massive depth of chase cards. What is there, like 60 plus illustration rares or something? That Roaring Moon EX special illustration rare is more special out of the special illustration, more special out of the special illustration than probably what it's given credit for. It's a really, really nice looking card. I think it's a solid set, heaps of depth to it. We'll see what the future holds for it. If I'll reassess that. I just want to get one booster box for the display. I'll reassess that as time goes by and maybe pick up some more. The last one I just wanted to chat to you about was Japanese 151. Like, it is just nowhere in terms of supply, that is. Like, no deals, no nothing. So I was a bit disappointed because I was really hoping to buy it, but, you know, when was it? Only 2-3 months ago, you could pick them up here for $220 Australian, and already the cheapest one I could find throughout Black Friday was $275 with a voucher applied. And it was just like, it's already gone up 55 Australian dollars, 20% pretty much in the space of 2 or 3 months. And like I was saying at the start, why would you? If you don't need to, if demand outweighs supply for the price that it's at, why do you need to discount it? It was a shame. I would have loved to have picked up a couple more over Black Friday, but I didn't manage to snag any. I'll keep an eye out though. Is it going to get reprinted? Not sure. That's $1 million question, isn't it? I'm going to do a video on Japanese and English 151 in a bit more depth coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I'm Michael, this is Pokeols, and I'll catch you all next time.